Right, I'm back. Today we're going to be talking about picking. So that's the thing that you do when you use your plectrum to pluck the notes. Obviously, we don't do anything else with our digits and our nostrils. So the first obvious one, you might have heard this, you might already do it, is called alternate picking. If I was just to play the pentatonic scale, so we'll stick with A minor, we all know it. If I was going to do that with alternate picking, all I'd do with my right hand, start off with a down pick, and the next note I do an up pick, and then I just do that across every string. So down, up, down, up, and the same across. And I played the wrong note at the end, which is awesome. So if you learn how to do this, if you don't know how to do it already, just start off with the pentatonic and just do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and it just means that it'll sound a bit smoother rather than going down, down, down all the time. It gets a bit robotic, and you've got to travel back over the string anyway to pick it down. You might as well pick up while you're there. Okay, there's three other types of picking that I want to talk about briefly. I'm not going to be going into too much detail, but just to sort of open your minds and give you something to try. But within that, we have something called pick slanting, which is something that we'll have across all the other types of picking. So within alternate picking, we would, the pick slanting thing, all it does is if, okay, I'm going to use this little ruler to explain it. But if I'm holding my pick flat against the strings, loads of friction. If I point my pick at this angle, if I do it with my actual pick, I can move a bit quicker. Let me take that shitty delay off. If I try and do that with a flat pick, it's a little bit harder. It's a bit harder to do. So point your pick forwards. I hold mine like this. But yeah, we're pointing it forwards towards the neck. I've seen people doing it this way, pointing it backwards. If that works for you, awesome. It don't work for me, so each to their own. So within the pick slanting, in fact, I'll come back to that a bit later. So the next type of picking would be inside or outside picking. So it's still going to be using the down, up thing. But if I was playing, for example, my natural sort of instinct is to start on a down, do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, just like we would with alternate picking. That's how it works with my playing. Some players use the inside picking or outside picking to get a certain sound or a certain sort of feeling. If I was going to do outside picking, I'm playing on the D and the G string. I'm literally just picking on the outside of those two strings. So on the top of the D and the bottom of the G. If I started on an up pick, and I'm going to struggle with this because it feels awful, I can't do it. But if I was to start on an up pick, I would be picking inside those two strings. It don't feel that natural to me, but technically it's more economical to do that. Something to think about, something to try. The next type of picking is sweep picking. I'm not very good at it, but I'll try and explain it. So you tend to hear it with the kind of, hit the wrong note, but you tend to hear it with the woo, the Yngwie Malmsteen kind of Steve Vai kind of shreddy stuff. And all that's happening is I'm crossing like one note on each string, and instead of doing down, up, down, up, down, I would do down, 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 because again, it's more economical and I can get it quicker. That was disgusting. I'll try that one again. A little bit better. So it's like a smooth motion. So it's a really tricky one to get quick. That's why it sounds disgusting when I do it. But basically, you can play across the strings a lot quicker if you like. It could sound like Yngwie Malmsteen. Okay, so we've done alternate picking, down, up, down, up, down, up. We've done inside and outside picking. It's just a little bit of a variation on alternate picking. Sweep picking. We've then got economy picking. So this is kind of a mix of inside picking and sweep picking. And again, it's something I don't tend to favour very often. I tend to just use alternate because I'm lazy. But what it is you're using inside picking. And I'm not going to try that again because it was awful. Now I can't do it. But if, for example, I'm gonna cross a string, and I start the first note on an up, and I'm going down to the G. I might do up and then up again. So it's just using a combination of those, like up, 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 and then some like inside or outside picking, or going down, 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 and then that. I'm not going to demonstrate it because I can't do it very well. Okay, they're the four main types of picking. With back to the pick slanting thing, so we know we need to hold it at an angle, generally like 45-degree angle. It'll feel a bit weird to start off with, but just try it. Within that, to be able to pick all this super fast stuff, obviously lots of practice, no girlfriends ever, but to get it sort of a bit smoother, if I'm travelling that way, if I'm ascending through my strings, I can do something like where I'm actually tilting the pick forward. So I'm going to use my ruler again in a second. But if I'm going, if I just tilt the pick forward again, so I'm on my 45-degree angle, but I point that forward, it's actually it's much easier to cross strings if I point the pick forwards. I am over exaggerating it there. I'll turn this way a little bit, but just a little bit. So normal and then forward slant. There's barely anything in it, but it does feel easier to travel across that way. Similarly, if I'm gonna go woo and come back this way, descending down the strings, tilt your pick back, and it just, I don't understand the science behind it, but it just feels easier to cross that string, to make that transition from one string to the other. So you can go from to just by changing the angle a little bit. So it's barely noticeable. It's so like, it's such a subtle little movement, but makes a big difference, and it just feels way better. That's it. I'm sorry for explaining the economy picking and sweep picking really badly, but hopefully you got a gist of what it was. That's it for today. See you later.